When I decided to build the ShoeZeum, I wanted to curate the history of Nike, but I also wanted to tell my own personal story through Nike shoes. In front of me, we've got 4 incredible pairs of Nikes that tell my personal journey, from where I grew up to LA, to where I went to college at the University of Arizona, where I went to law school and business school in San Diego, and ultimately where I opened the ShoeZeum up for the whole world to enjoy in Las Vegas. I want to start over here with these LA Map Air Force Ones. They were done by Mr. Cartoon, and I want to walk you through these shoes and share my journey with you. So come on over here and let's have a look at these lasered Air Force Ones from 2005. Mr. Cartoon is a famous tattoo artist in LA and a graffiti artist, and he's done a whole bunch of different work with Nike. Primarily on Air Force Ones, he has a few other shoes though. When you look at this shoe, you'll see that it has maps of the California freeways on there. They're very near and dear to me, not only because I was born and raised in Los Angeles, but because I spent so many years on these different freeways, driving around chasing down Nikes at all the outlet stores. When I was building the ShoeZeum, I wanted to bring all the shoes to life with toys and props, and believe it or not, I actually found a real freeway sign on the side of the road that I put in my minivan to bring these shoes to life. Now, when I was giving a tour to the Nike executives, Nelson Ferris, who's one of the first ever Nike employees, was with me when we were looking at these shoes, and I pointed out to him right there on the toe, Long Beach. That's where he's from. I really wanted to establish a personal, emotional connection with all of the Nike executives, and I wanted to show him, hey Nelson, check out these Air Force Ones. There's even a little spot for Long Beach, which is where you started out way back in the 70s. Nelson grew up in Long Beach. He started a business selling Nikes. Eventually he reached out to Nike for a job, and they hired him. Let's move from LA over to the University of Arizona, where I went to college. These shoes celebrate the national championship that the University of Arizona Wildcats won in 1997 when I was there. Have a look at the back heel right here. It says Zona, and it also says Zoom Air on there. This is important for a few different reasons, and let's start with the Zona. So these Terminators were part of a 4-pack of shoes. They came along with another pair of Georgetown Hoyas, Syracuse Orange Men, and Duke Blue Devils. Back in the day, in 2004, when these shoes came out, Nike outlets were not nearly as efficient as they are today, and these shoes typically sat at the outlets for about $29.99. When I was living in San Diego, there were tons of these Arizona Wildcat Terminators on display at the outlet, and no one was buying them. And I thought it was so crazy that they had an outlet in Tucson, not far from the University of Arizona, where they could have put these shoes and sold them at full retail. Nowadays, that's exactly what's being done at the Nike outlets. The person that runs the Nike outlets, direct-to-consumer part of Nike's business, is Jean Jackson. She's the former CEO of Walmart. And that's why you're seeing Nike outlets popping up everywhere. And also you're seeing the product that goes to the Nike outlets very specific in the region where it's being shipped. For example, if you go to Tucson, there's a bunch of Arizona Wildcat stuff. If you're in Phoenix, there's going to be Arizona State stuff. They're really taking advantage of the local markets. Let's go back to the little Zoom Air thing that I was talking about back here. In 2002, Nike SB got started, and they started putting Zoom Air in dunks. And they were such a hit that Nike thought, hey, let's put Zoom Air in other basketball shoes. And that's what you have here on these Terminators. Remember that back in '85, the Terminator came out sort of to rival all of the dunks, and none of these shoes had air. But here they're putting Zoom Air in the shoes, even though this pair is not part of the SB line. Now, Nike also made Delta Forces, which was an old 80s basketball shoe that they put Zoom Air in and made SBs out of them. Nike's taken a lot of basketball shoes and turned them into SB shoes. They haven't done it with the Terminator, but these '04 Terminators are as close as you're going to get with it because of that Zoom Air on the back there. Now, I like to say that Nike followed me everywhere off to college. U of A is a Nike school. We won the championship wearing foam posits with Nike swooshes all over the jerseys. When I graduated from college, people were actually protesting the graduation because of all of the sweatshop stuff that was going on at the time. I graduated college in 1999, and after college, I moved to San Diego to go to law school and business school. So let's work our way over to this Air Force One World Edition Ladainian Tomlinson collaboration. The One World collaboration was with 18 different artists, designers, and athletes. Nike went to them for inspiration, and they got to customize their own shoes. These shoes came out in '08 when Ladainian Tomlinson was on top of the NFL. You'll notice that they're white and baby blue, the San Diego Chargers colors. You're also going to notice this lightning bolt on the back. It sort of looks funky because it's not the traditional Chargers lightning bolt. If you look closely at it, it's actually an LT, Ladainian Tomlinson's initials. Nike loves to make little logos out of people's initials. And when you look at the back of the shoe right here, you'll see number 21, LT's number. Crazy story about this shoe. When they released, originally they released only in San Diego, and then they launched nationwide. They're still very, very limited. But I had a few different employees at the different sneaker boutiques waiting in line to buy these shoes. 21 pairs were autographed by Ladainian because that was his number, and one of the pairs came with tickets to the Chargers game. My employee actually got those tickets in the pair of shoes that he won. Let's work our way from law school and business school in San Diego over to UNLV in Las Vegas. We all know that originally I opened up the ShoeZeum in San Diego, but I reopened it up in Las Vegas. These are part of the Be True to Your School Dunk Pack from 2005, celebrating the 20-year anniversary of the dunk. Remember that Nike Dunks were the first basketball shoe that matched college uniforms. They matched 7 uniforms originally. These are UNLV. We also had St. John's, Michigan, Villanova, University of Kentucky, Iowa, and Syracuse. These are my favorite, and of course, because the ShoeZeum was located in Las Vegas, it was very important to have 2 pairs of these. The first pair was in a Welcome to Las Vegas exhibit, alongside a pair of Dunk SB EMBs. If you ever see a Dunk SB EMB, it means it was a Brazilian release. They're known as the Ultramans, and they're the low-top version of this shoe. Anyway, it's been a real pleasure walking you through the different places where I've lived, where I grew up, where I went to college, where I went to graduate school, and ultimately where the ShoeZeum was last opened up in Las Vegas.